good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time you're watching the Student Athlete Playbook video conversation, we say thank you. I'm Barry Brown, author of the Amazon bestseller, The Student Athlete Playbook, Success in the Classroom, Sports, and Life. And I'm also a member of the Student Athlete Achievement Program, Youth Education and Sports, the nonprofit charity organization that helps youth become who they are destined to be. You know how we do with the Student Athlete Playbook video conversation. We interview the best student athletes, the best parents, the best coaches, and the best youth service providers around the country. Wherever we can connect with them, we try to highlight them because we know in this world, we have a lot of media outlets that try to paint a picture of our young people not doing great things, try to paint a picture of our parents not being present. But that's not true in a lot of cases. There are a lot of parents that are doing what they're supposed to do with their young people. And there are a lot of young people doing what they're supposed to do. And they're shining. I'm talking about at the highest level. And today is no different. I just told you on the last Student Athlete Playbook video conversation that we thought we were doing for 2022. We said, oh man, it's done. We're getting ready for 2023. But right after that, we announced our Student Athletes of the Year. And one of them that we've been tracking for 2 years, outstanding young man, outstanding parents, outstanding support system. And he was able, with his busy schedule, he was able to do his conversation today. And that's why we're back on here at the end of 2022, because this young man became available. And we thank him. We thank his dad. Listen, we have none other than the most outstanding player, all-state performer in the state of Kentucky, recent state championship where he won MVP. There's no other than my man, Bryant from Lexington, Kentucky, Frederick Douglass High School. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. And right next to him is his dad, Mr. Cisco Bryant.
How you doing?
Mr. Bryant, how do you feel right this moment, man, with what your son has accomplished and what you have put into your son thus far in his life?
Well, first of all, thank you for having us on, first and foremost. The biggest thing is it ain't all sunk in, but it's sinking in. And it's every single day I just look back and I look at old photos and I look where he is now. And I appreciate what you're doing based on the academic side. That is huge because a lot of times we get a lot of accolades of running and jumping and not reading and writing. So thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's critical because a lot of times we've run into over the years, and this is really why we started this platform, is because, like you said, you can always go find somebody who can run fast, jump, throw the ball, baseball, basketball, whatever. You're going to find the athlete, the pure athletes. But what I found from my career back in the day, I know you know the same thing from your career, they try to overlook the academic side. They try to overlook the character side. But then as I started working with you after graduating from college, I started paying attention to, even at the Division I level, I started paying attention to the fact that every time recruiting came up, they never talked about they were looking for the best young lady or best young man that could run fast and all that stuff. They kept saying, I'm looking for the best young lady and the best young man with character. Amen. And I said, oh, there it is. That's the true testament, because even if you're at an HBCU or you're at a Division III school or you're at a Division I school, that school is making an investment in you. And they want the best young man, best young lady that's going to do what's right in them dorm rooms, out in the community of the college, and the whole nine. And that's why Ty ended up becoming our co-student athlete of the year for 2022 with the Student Athlete Achievement Program, Youth Education and Sports, because of the character he displayed. Every time I saw something posted about him, he was doing something positive, be it on the field or off the field. And so, Ty, your dad is absolutely right. the character and the academics of our young people is just as important, actually more important than what they'll ever do on the field.
Yes,
So
sir.
thank you, Mr. Bryant, for saying that. I appreciate that. So Ty, man, let's get into it, brother. Let's get into it. Now, COVID-19, man, it changed the world.
Yes, sir.
So for a student athlete like you a two-sport star, baseball, football. How did COVID-19 affect you, your family directly, and then you as a student athlete?
I honestly have to say, like, COVID was it was a blessing and a curse. RIP to everyone who lost their life due to COVID. But during that time where everything was shut down, me and my dad, we still found a way, whether if it was pulling both of the cars out the garage and working on it there, which we did in the beginning stages, and then we started building it to going on the street, hill, and then going even to a swimming pool, working out there at one of my friend's house, and then going to hit baseball and going to a grass hill. We had a little schedule down towards the middle and towards the end of COVID, where we would wake up, we'd go to hit at like 11. After that, we go straight to lifting, and at 2:30, and then at 5:30, we would go to like a field or the pool and work out there. So I feel like honestly that's where a lot of things started, just grinding during COVID. And then for academics, it was really just I had to teach myself a little bit. But once you get to high school, it's kind of a little bit more of that. So it really wasn't any changes, honestly. It was just I had to wake up, and instead of put my clothes on to go to school in person, I just open up my computer and then listen to the teacher on there and then just do the work. So yeah.
That's what's up, man. It looked like you actually created a routine for yourself, a schedule that you followed even during COVID when you weren't with your peers and your classmates and your teammates every day. You set up a routine for yourself to keep yourself in shape and to stay busy. And then academically, man, it looked like you was on it, man. I tell you something. You just mentioned something. High school, I noticed that because I have a 19-year-old. I have a sophomore at the university. My oldest daughter at the University of Miami, and I have an 11-year-old. And I saw the difference of what you just talked about. The high school level students did a lot better than the elementary school children did. So I saw that in my own home. And so yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that the high school level was better. It wasn't such a change for you. You just, hey, I knew what I had to do. Let me get up and do it. And,
Yes, sir.
so all the young people out there, this is Ty Bryant telling you, get a routine together and stay on your business academically and athletically to get through anything. Because if we get through this pandemic, then we can get through almost anything. So Ty, thank you for mentioning that, man. That's
Yes,
big.
sir.
Mr. Bryant.
Yes, sir.
How did COVID affect you and what you were doing in like the whole family structure piece? How did you adapt, and how did the family adapt from your perspective?
Well, I think from a parent's perspective, the COVID slowed everything down that you really found out if you enjoy your kid and your wife and the people around you, because it was just that family. And like Ty said, getting up and doing that routine. But the thing is, at his young age, he had to want to get up and do that. And, as a parent, we always striving for our child to do ABC. So COVID sort of slowed it down. And I really got to see if Ty wanted what he said he wanted, because a lot of people say it, but they don't really want it. It just sounds good. And so he motivated me to get up during the COVID time as well, because the enthusiasm and that he had, let's go get better, let's get better. And so I guess the question is still on the floor, is it affected the bonding of the family majorly. And then you're real sorry about the people's families that lost their lives with it, but COVID helped us get closer.
Wow, I love it. You saw that Ty wanted it. He wanted what he said he wanted. He got up and did it. Man, bonding. Yeah, because we heard those horror stories about families in close proximity. Found out they weren't much family at all. For some of the stories I heard. So I'm glad yours brought y'all closer than spread y'all apart. That's good. Coaches, young people that's watching this video, listen to what Mr. Bryant just said. He found out how bad his son really wanted it during COVID. That's important because we always talk about, as coaches, as mentors, as parents, we can't want it more than our children want it. We can't want it more than the young people that we're working with. At some point in time, the young people are going to have to pick up the mantle and run with it. And Ty, I'm glad you decided to do that, young man. That's beautiful. Because trust me, your dad just said it. Trust me, all parents feel like that. Like, man, when are they gonna really show us that they want what they say they want? And obviously you did it, man. And your success in everything that you're receiving right now is a testament to the work that you put in thus far in your life.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Bryant, for sharing that. That's very important. Now, Ty, a student athlete. I don't know when you first heard that term, but what does being a student athlete mean to you? What would be your definition of a student athlete?
It means that you handle business in the classroom and on your sports field or court. You do everything to the best of your ability. And being an athlete, you should have this type of drive and competitiveness that you take with you to the field and or court. And I feel like being a student athlete, you got to do the same thing going into the classroom. You got to take that competitive, that drive that you're not going to get anything less than an A. And you're going to give it your all. And if, you come up short and get a B, then get back in them books and continue to study.
Wow. I love it. Competitive. Be competitive in the classroom. Be competitive in your particular sport. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you something. This is a story I share all the time when I'm out speaking and when I'm doing my individual sessions or group sessions, that I played with the #1 recruit in the country coming out of high school, Mr. Andre Hastings, and we're still best friends to this day. And I remember going back. We struggled in trigonometry, and we had one of our older brothers. Shout out to Bernard Gibson. He played at the Navy Academy. Andre went on to University of Georgia and went on to the NFL and the whole nine. But we struggled in trigonometry our junior year. Bernard was a year ahead of us. He was a senior that year. And so he had already taken trig and did very well, i.e., that's why he was able to go to the Navy Academy. And he tutored us. So imagine this, a young man that became the #1 recruit in the country, and his brother, after football practice every day, Bernard Gibson would tutor us in trigonometry so we can be competitive in the classroom and do great things, not only in football, because we won a state championship as well, but also we wanted to be the best in the classroom and do what we had to do so we could earn the scholarships that we were all seeking and stuff. So imagine this. You got one guy went to Navy Academy. You got one guy ends up going to University of Georgia, and you got another guy that ends up going to Presbyterian College to play ball. So because of the work we did in the classroom, that was the only reason we was able to go the places that we ended up going, man. So I'm glad you said that, Ty. Competitive in the classroom. Everything we do, we need to do it at the best level we can. I'm talking about from cleaning up our rooms. I'm talking about look at Dad looking at you, cleaning up your room.
My room clean.
What'd you say, Ty?
My room clean.
Your room. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do when we have that kind of attitude. This is something I just heard this phrase last year, and I hope this helps you, Ty, as you continue to move on. And every young person watching this, and even adults, this is something I just learned this year. The way we do everything is the way we do anything. The way we do anything is the way we do everything. That hit me so hard. I'm like, you're right. If I'm lazy in here cleaning up the house, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna be lazy at work. If I'm lazy and not wanting to go out and wash my car, that means I'm not gonna want to do anything else. So everything we do, if we have that competitive nature that you mentioned, we're gonna be competitive and want to do our best in everything we do. Man, Mr. Bryant, Ty, y'all bringing up some great thought. So, Mr. Bryant, I'm gonna go to you.
All right.
What's your definition of a student athlete? When you talk about a student athlete, what do you say?
Well, almost basically the same thing. We got taught that at the University of Kentucky, and God rest his soul, Jerry Claiborne, when I played there in the 80s, used to say it's the little things that make you successful. And every little thing we did academically as well as um, sports wise, you had to do it right and correct and do it over and over. And going back to what Ty talked about, if you get a B and your level is an A, don't be satisfied with that. You have to do a little bit more. I still remember. I don't know if he remember. He got a algebra 2. You got an A in that, and then in middle school because he didn't get any B's in high school. He got all A's, and I said he got social studies, right? Yeah, he got a B in social studies, and I said, how do you get a in algebra and a B in social studies? What it came down to is he wasn't reading enough in social studies. So he figured out I've got to do a little bit more reading in this field. And the math part, algebra and trig and all that came a little bit more easy for him because he got it. He got the pattern. So to answer your question, it again is just starting off when you're little, doing small things, because that was Jerry Claiborne's thing. Do every little thing right. And then it triggered over. Even like when we would play games, I don't play him anymore because he'll beat me by 100. But when he was little, we'd play games and I wouldn't nice to him. I would beat him bad. And then all of a sudden, when he started getting better, I was busy. I couldn't come upstairs and play him anymore because he would have beat me by 100. So we left my W's the way they were. So it's teaching them at a very young age just to be, not sensitive, competitive, but just competitive. And you and our God knows your level every single time. And when you finish your day, you look yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, did I compete academically as well as in sports?
Wow. The little things. What's your coach? What's the coach you mentioned? Coach at University of Kentucky?
Jerry Claiborne. He passed away. Great coach. I find myself coaching like him, and small things. Your locker had to be clean, and my mom was like that. God rest her soul as well. But everything had to be done correct, and every little thing, everything you do, has to be done up to your ability. And then as you get older, it modifies itself. So,
wow. The young people, coaches, parents. This is Mr. Bryant, Ty Bryant's dad. The little things can take us so far because we master doing the little things. The big things are going to take care of ourselves, and we're going to attack them the same way that we attack the little things. I love that message, and definitely shout out to your coach, shout out to your mom as well, because those are the things. Parents, you talking about instilling character. We're talking about how do we get our young people to do what we ask them to do. One of the other key things Mr. Bryant just said is he did it when Ty was young. So studies show between the ages of 0, that means in the womb, to 6 years old, we as parents have the opportunity to instill something in our young people that's amazing. And I agree with Mr. Bryant wholeheartedly. It's the little things. Teach our young people to do the little things well, and everything else takes care of itself. Thank you, Mr. Bryant.
thank you.
That's beautiful. Now, we've talked about it a lot, but I want to go into it a little bit deeper. Ty, I will start with you. How important is it for a student athlete to show good character? Because I mentioned these coaches actually say this now. Man, I'm looking for a great young man, great young lady with character. How important is that truly from your experience thus far in your life as you get ready to enter the University of Kentucky? How important is that?
I feel like it's very important. Sometimes, depending on who you are in the recruiting stage, it could probably make or break you. If you're not, the best athlete in the world, but you're a great athlete, but you have good character, then the coaches are likely to take you. Whether more than if you're a pretty good athlete, but your character is awful, then the coaches aren't going to take you, aren't going to offer you. These days, every young kid wants Division I offers, so it's just being in a way versatile. Being able to respect people, and the coaches like that.
respect. Woo. Young people, I've seen a lot of news reports. I've seen a lot of people talk about young people being disrespected. But you just heard Ty Bryant, most outstanding player out of the state of Kentucky, say respect is important. Hey guys, listen, you earn respect, but the number one way you earn it is by giving it. And if you show respect to people and you earn their respect by doing what you're supposed to do, then trust me, you will earn their respect right back. Mr. Bryant, what do you have to say about that? How important is it for a student athlete to have good character and to actually display it?
Well, as a coach myself, my thing I tell kids all the time, your character is when nobody's watching you, or when you think nobody's watching you. And a lot of times, a college coach will be up in the stands. You score a touchdown, you're jumping up and down, and the glory is towards you. Everybody's watching you, and it's a good moment. Now you throw a pass and you drop it, and then all of a sudden you walk to the sideline and you're cussing and you're throwing your helmet. You're a coach killer, because if that coach, I say it all the time, who is the happiest person if I get a D1 job? And everybody says, you. No, it's your wife, because she ain't got to work no more. I'm making $2 million. But again, if you were throwing a helmet and I bring you on campus, or if you're throwing a basketball, you're cussing at your coach, or you're mad at your coach and you're pouting about your teammate, that coach sees that. And that right there will get that coach fired, because he or she brought you on campus. And that's a character thing, because now they don't ask about your ability anymore. They ask, how's this character? That's the first thing college coaches ask. How's this character? Okay. And then the next one is they're going to look up your academics, because they already know that you can play. They wouldn't be there. They already know that, and you might not have a good game that day, but that don't mean you can't play. That's just that day. So the character is a huge thing, and understanding that, and young people's got to understand that that's more important than a lot of stuff, is your character.
Wow. Coaches, high school coaches, youth coaches, I hope y'all just heard what Coach Bryant just said about what coaches are looking at the college level. Coach, what level do you coach at currently? What level do you coach at currently?
Well, when Ty ended up starting as a freshman, I stopped coaching high school football and baseball. I was a varsity high school football baseball for over 25 years, 30 years.
Wow. And
so now me and the wife, we actually probably the only two middle school wife and husband couple that coaches middle school football. Yeah,
wait a minute. Miss Bryant coaches middle school football?
She actually coaches. Yeah, she's my assistant football coach. She actually coaches at a women's in semi-pro league as well. She does that as well. Yeah, she's that. Yeah.
I don't wait a minute. She heard that. I totally missed that. I'm gonna have to talk to your wife about that. She snuck that by me right there. Coach, I'm glad you told me that. I had no idea. No idea. So that's beautiful right there. That's beautiful. So Ty, man, you've been getting coached all your life then, huh?
Yes, sir, for sure.
Well, let me ask you this: How tough was that, having your dad as a coach right there with you all the time? How tough was that growing up?
I don't think it was tough. I mean, there's definitely a flip that switches on and off with him. When we're out there on the field and we're practicing and we're working hard, then he's coach. But as soon as we get done, we always hug after every workout. He tells me, I love you. I tell him, I love you too. And then he's dad again. So I don't think it was hard at all. But sometimes some things, just being a kid, I do something goofy or whatever, then he would translate that to on the field. And then, yeah, we had a lot of talks like that.
That's what's what refreshing about what you just said, Ty, was you talking about being a kid, man.
Yes, sir.
That's refreshing to hear you say that, because at the end of the day, yeah, you still a teenager. And I think we forget that as parents and coaches and people that work with youth, that man, these are kids. And we have to be sensitive to that, and we have to be understanding of that. That sometimes, even as good as you are, you're gonna act like a kid sometimes. Right. And so, I'm glad you mentioned that, Ty, Coach. Yeah, I know I talk to my daughters about this all the time. I don't want them necessarily to grow up too fast.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Because God willing, you all are going to be adults much longer than you are kids. Because technically, anywhere in the world, at 18, you're considered an adult anywhere in the world. And so, prayerfully, God willing, you're going to be an adult much longer than you are these 0 to 18 years. And so, we have to allow you to be kids, be young people from 0 to 18. And then you got the rest of your life to work and do all the things as an adult. And so I'm glad you said that's refreshing, man, because I don't know the last time I've heard a young person talk about actually being a kid. And Coach, that's a tribute to you and your wife and the whole family structure about, being able to turn that flip that Ty talked about, going from coach to dad back to coach, because I know that's a tough situation. I helped coach my daughter in soccer, and I had to leave it alone myself because of that daddy coach phenomenon. I was like, you know what? First of all, I don't know that much about soccer. Let me say that. Then it's like, you know what? Let me get out of that role and let me just be dad. You know what I'm saying? So, tribute to you, Coach, on that by far.
Well, thank you. Well, and a lot of times he didn't understand when he was little. We would be practicing, and I go, Ty, we're done, and go climb a tree. Go be it. I mean, and he can tell you as a fact. And I didn't want him to lose his innocence. When you just said the same thing, I told him growing up too fast. I want him to enjoy being this age, you know. And he's heard me say, and that's why he smiled a little bit, because I said all the time, you're going to be an adult a lot longer, and that becomes responsibility every single day. And when I hear parents tell kids, well, you're 17, you're 18, you're 19, no, you're still a baby. You know, first and foremost, their frontal lobe hasn't developed all the way yet. So it doesn't matter if they turn 18; they're not 22 yet.
Exactly.
You know, and a lot of time, we as adults, we forget that. And the thing that helped me with Ty is I was coaching and dealing with other people's kids 13 years before he was born. Wow. So when he came on the scene, he was so used to me getting on other people that to him, he was just like, well, he's treating me like them. He's getting on me. But then we have to get in the car, and I'm going to get on him a little bit more. But that's another story.
Yeah. So, because see, Coach, you just mentioned something that's critical. And we're going to hit on, I want to go deeper with that, what you just talked about, coaching before you had your child, because I think that's critical too. Working with youth before you actually have your own children, it can be a very positive thing. So, Ty, looking at your dad now, you know you're about to go to the next phase of your life, reflecting back on those moments. Have you done that yet? Have you done that yet? Now that you're about to enter college, have you done a real reflection on, man, how I grew up?
A little bit. It comes and goes. Like, I've never really sat there and thought about it for a long time. But sometimes when I just see something on my phone, I'll think back, like, dang, like that was me in a sense. Or I kind of have more about like my high school career I've thought about on, but like past that, I really haven't, given it a thought yet.
I got you. I understand. Because it's still fresh. Like your dad said, all this stuff is sinking in because it just happened. So,
right, yes, sir.
So I understand. So now going into you coaching before Ty was born, Coach, did you have a vision? So with that experience, did you actually have a vision for Ty? Like, did you have a certain way you wanted to raise him before he was born? Or how did that work in your mind? Or you just, hey, he's here, let's roll with it. What were your thought pattern as you were preparing for Ty to enter the world?
Well, before it happened, I think most people, adults, have a vision what they think they want their child to do. And carrying it out means, again, going back to the original statement was said, is sacrificing. Ooh. And that's the huge deal as a parent and as a coach when your kid comes. You watch your friends have their kids, you watch other coaches coach their kid, and you take a little bit from this coach, a little bit from this coach, and then you say, whoa, I'm not doing that. And that was one of the big things with him. I don't think I ever chewed him out in public. I don't think I was not that dad that just jumped on him. You know, he could tell if I wasn't happy with something. And our conversations, even in the car, wasn't very long. So before he was born, I said, I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to do this. Oh, I'm going to do that. You know, and I sort of took the blueprint, not the whole blueprint. It's 7 pages, if you will. I maybe took page 2, page 3, and from this coach, and page 1 from this coach. And then the way you got brought up as a child, you took that from your parents as well. You took that blueprint from that parent. You took your blueprint a little bit from this coach that coached you. And you try to put it all in your personality. And I've always said this in every interview, that he was very perceptive of me when he was born, me coaching him. He didn't fight me. Right. He didn't fight me, you know. And sometimes kids, you know, changing the subject a little bit, but sometimes kids fight their parents.
Absolutely.
And he didn't do that. He accepted it because I already did it prior to him being born, and I was doing it when he was a very small kid. He heard how I spoke. I'm not going to cuss you. I'm not going to touch you. That's not my style. I didn't like it when I was growing up as a coach, I mean, as a player. So I didn't do that.
Right. Wow. That's important. The Ty, you paid attention as a young man, and I coach out, see if you agree with this. This is something we talk to our young people about all the time. How and why is it important to listen and pay attention when you're not participating, when you're standing on the side with the drills, or you're in the classroom listening to your teacher while your classmate is presenting or answering a question? Listen and observe and pay attention so that you know what's going on. So when it's your time to speak and perform, you know what to do, and you've learned from watching others. And that's what it sounds like Ty did as you were coaching, and he was small. He was paying attention to what you were doing and listening.
Yeah, because I tell him all the time, if a coach or a teacher doesn't correct the person that went in front of you, that means they did it right. So mimic them. I mean, because if they don't correct them, they did it right. And that way it looks like you're listening and hearing and processing.
Woo. Young people, parents, coaches, Coach Bryant is dropping jewels on us today. Mimicking positive behavior. That's what it's called. Just mimic positive behavior. You see somebody doing it the right way, you want to do it like them. And that's amazing you said that, Coach. Because I was small. I wasn't Ty size coming out of high school. I was 5'8", 146 pounds coming out of high school. But I mimicked.
Like you.
I mimicked Deion Sanders when he was at Florida State. I attempted to play like him because I saw the success he was having. Now, I wasn't as fast as him, and it definitely didn't have the size, but my attempt to play like him allowed me to be very successful, even at my size, which got me the attention that I needed to get a scholarship to move on. But that's beautiful. Mimicking positive and outstanding behavior. Young people, coaches, parents, let's do that. Let's do more of that. I love it. Thank you, Coach. Man. So now, Ty, man, you signed your national letter of intent. Man, 2-star athlete at Frederick Douglass High School, Lexington, Kentucky. I mean, you've won all these awards, MVP of the state championship game, all-state performer. You're enrolling in college early to go ahead and get a part of the team. Man, what does that feel like? Like, I mean, you leaving high school in the middle of the year. Like, how does that feel right now, young man?
Definitely my last day was somewhat emotional, having to see everyone in school for the last time, see their faces, and then conversation. I think it started becoming emotional a little bit when after we won state, and the people like, dang, Tybee, you really leaving? Like, all this and the third. I don't even really get to enjoy it with my guys. It's kind of just like, all right, I'm packing my stuff up and going on to the next phase of life. So I definitely say that day, but that week was emotional. But yeah, having to get in my car and drive away for the last time, I had to hold back a few tears, you know what I mean? Just because I've been there for so long and just build great relationships and great bonds with people.
Wow. Yeah, that has to be big. Coach, let me ask you this on that. Because I know it wasn't around. I mean, I guess we could have did it back in the day when we were younger. But when did this trend really? I was trying to go back and do some research to find out what was the first year they really started allowing the students to graduate early and to go and enroll in school in the college that they're going to early. Do you remember what year, around what year this started?
It hasn't been here very long.
Right.
Because when I coached in 2000 in the mid 90s, it wasn't going on. And then,
right.
And I would have to say, wouldn't you say about 3 years ago? Maybe. I mean, it just started, and it's a good thing. It's a thing for you to get a jump start on what a coach wants. And it's the same difference when, especially in baseball, when parents walk up to me and say, "Coach, when should my son or daughter start coming to fast pitch softball or baseball?" And I said, as soon as they able to, because now you're going to know what that high school coach, college coach wants. Because your middle school coach could tell you, like you as a DB, to play close, and then maybe the college coach wants you to have a more base. And as soon as you can get a jump on what they want and get that inside information on what they want, it helps you. So to answer your question, I would have to say 2 to 3 years. It ain't been very much. I know that.
Right. Wow. Yeah, because that's what I was trying to. I said, yeah. I know it hadn't been that long. So yeah, I'm gonna do some more research and try to find out specifically when they really started doing this. But man, that's amazing, Ty. Hey man, I wish you tremendous favor as you move on to that next phase of your life, man, because you've earned it. And like everything we talked about today, you just continue doing the little things, brother. You're gonna be just fine.
Yes, sir.
Now, what do you do? What do you do outside of sports, man? What do you do for fun and relaxation as Ty Bryant, the person?
I like to hang out with my guys. I like to hang out with my guys. We go do some fun things, and then just being with them, it's always funny, laughing and joking around, and that's pretty fun. I like to work out. I work out a lot. Try to do that every day just to better my craft. And I'm not too big on the video games, but sometimes one of the guys hit me up talking about get on the game. So I will, just because I know if I'm on the game with them, then it's going to be funny. So I'm going to get on the game, have a good time, laugh, and enjoy it. And yeah, I like to chill. I don't really get a lot of downtime. So when I do, I just like to chill. Because I know the next day I'm going to hit the ground running. So, yes, sir.
That's what's up. Now, do you like movies or anything? Do you watch movies or anything like that? Or what are you a YouTube guy, social media video watcher? What do you?
I don't mind putting on a movie. It has to be something that I'm really, really interested in. I'm not a big movie guy, but I don't mind, putting on a movie, especially if I'm relaxing and then just on my phone, just so I can have, something going on in the back. But yes, sir, I'm not a big movie guy, but yeah.
I got you. And so next week you actually go to the University of Kentucky. Salute once again. What do you have an idea what you want to major in already?
Yes, sir. I want to do journalism and/or sports broadcasting.
Oh, okay. And the way you're talking right now, I see it already, brother. I see you poised and speak very well. So that's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Thanks.
I majored in English when I was in college, man. So I like that journalism route, brother. I love it.
Yes, sir.
I love it. So man, you go in there and handle your business as I know you're gonna do, and man, and just keep up the great work. A lot of people that you don't even know are watching you. Like your dad said about character, what you do when nobody's watching, or when you don't think anybody's watching, because in this day and age, everybody's watching because of cell phones, social media, the whole nine. The world has changed on that front. So back in the day, when your dad and I were in high school, we could probably be two different people. We could be one way at school and be a whole nother way in the community, and nobody would ever know. But that's not the same for y'all. It's totally different. Y'all, you all absolutely have to be consistent in what you do. Otherwise, it could cause major problems for you. As you've seen with some of the people that have come before you that are now playing college sports and, of course, at the professional ranks. So salute to you on that, Ty, and keep up the great work, young man. So now we get ready to finish this conversation. I must ask you, Dad, Coach, Mr. Bryant, what would you? Yeah, you got a lot of titles, sir. What would you like to share with other parents and coaches that may be watching this video? What would you like to share with them at this time?
The biggest thing that I would have to say to parents is start communicating with your kids young. And if you didn't do that, start now. And then be ready for their resistance a little bit, because it's going to happen, because they're starting to feel their own way. And you have to be understanding of that. But the one thing I'll tell Ty is it's a part in Braveheart. And it's a little part in Braveheart that I say to Ty all the time is, I know you're not a child, but you're my child. And so the parents got to understand, even though that's your child, but they're growing up. And you have to really listen to what they want and then revamp what you're saying. And you can't say it the same way you said it to them when they were 7. And Ty's now 18. So I have to change a little bit what I say to him if I still want him to hear me. And because every day he leaves the house, I say, do what's right.
Not what's popular.
And every single day, do what's right. Now here go, not what's popular. And he hears that. And he hears it every day he hears me say it. And even if he's not over here, I say it to him on the phone. I will say it to him on the phone, and he responds that way. It's just be in your child's life on everything, the good times and the bad times, and listen to them. And I think that's the biggest key for parents to their young lady, young man at that age. Just listen to them and just let them know that you support them no matter what. And
wow. Communication, listening, paying attention, be involved, be engaged with your children.
Yeah.
You heard it from Coach Bryant, the father of Ty Bryant, University of Kentucky, Signee, Student Athlete Achievement Program, Youth Education and Sports, Co-Student Athlete of the Year, 2022. Parents, we have the opportunity to mold and shape and guide our young people to where they need to go. But that means we have to be paying attention, we have to be present, we have to be engaged, and we have to love on our student athletes, and we have to be firm in our discipline with them as well.
Yeah.
That's important, parents. You just heard it from Coach Bryant. Been doing this for a long time, working with young people. And then you see what he's produced directly in his own. So, hey, take note, and let's do what we need to do as parents. So when we start talking about the problems that are happening in our communities, the number one way to do that is us being engaged with our own children and making sure our children are doing the right thing. And that means we have to listen to them and be there for them as they continue to grow up. Because we're not raising them to be kids, parents. We're raising them to be adults, productive and effective adults. Let me say that again. Because I just saw Coach like, hey, that's it. So let me say, and I want him to chime in if he wants to say something else. We are raising our children to be adults, not to stay children.
Nothing needs to be said. Nothing needs to be said. No, you said it. Nothing needs to be said. That's it.
I got
that's perfect.
So Ty, before you speak to end this, because I want you to share your thoughts on what you want to say to the young people that's watching this video and coming up behind you. But we got some comments. Some people have made some comments. So let's check this out. Some people may have some questions for you all. Okay, so we got Goldie Bryant. Who is Goldie Bryant? Who is Goldie Bryant?
That's my cousin.
That's my niece.
So shout out to Gold. Hey, thank you for watching. Please share the video. Yeah, let your cousin. Hey, let the world know who your cousin. Your cousin is a star, yo, on and off the field. So hey, thank you, Goldie. She sent hearts. Uncle Ellie. That's right. Oh man, I love it. That's right. So no, we love everybody that watches the videos, and we appreciate you tremendously. Thank you, Goldie. So Ty, there's a lot of young people that are watching right now, probably, but definitely gonna watch it here coming up after the video is shared and spread out. What would you like to say to the young people that are coming behind you that want to be an outstanding young man, an outstanding student athlete like you? What do you have to say to them at this moment?
Honestly, sorry, but honestly, I'd have to say just keep your head down and work, continue to work. Give praise to God when you achieve something big, and just never compare yourself to anybody else. I love telling this story just because this is one of my guys, but I got my first offer going into sophomore year. One of my best friends, he got his first offer mid-junior year, and we both finished with the same amount of offers. So don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Your journey is what God has for you, and continue to work. Let no one shake your confidence. You only really got yourself. Things are going bad, you got yourself always. And once you get down on yourself, it's over. So you just got to continue to keep your self-confidence high and continue to know that you're great no matter what happens. If you go out there and, in my case, you're playing football and you go out there and you drop a pass, oh, well, next play, make up for it. And then football is a little different. I mean, baseball is a little different because if you go and you strike out, then you got to wait to turn again. But in like football or something, go out there and make up for it on the next play. So there's always something that you can do. So, yeah, just continue to work hard, and give praise to the Lord. And, yeah.
Wow. I love it. But I got out of that, Ty, excuse me, work, the big W word. I throw up the W's when I'm doing presentations. I do they're like, oh, Mr. Brown, you throwing up West Side, Gang Side. I said, no, this W is for work. This is the big work W. And nobody should be able to outwork you. And so I love that, Ty, work. How much work are you willing to put in? Your dad mentioned sacrifice earlier in the conversation. What are you willing to sacrifice? And so we're going to go out there with that. Work, sacrifice. Do not compare yourself, young people, to the other young people around you. I know there's a lot of things with social media that causes you to compare yourself with other people easily, and something that Coach Bryant and I did not have to deal with when we were coming up, because I didn't know what the kid in Alabama was doing. I didn't know what the kid in Tennessee was doing. We didn't know that. But now, because of all the different ranking systems and all that stuff and social media and the internet, y'all have access to all that information. But this is what I've learned tremendously. Comparison is the thief of joy. Let me say that again. Comparison is the thief of joy. So y'all heard it directly from Ty Bryant, University of Kentucky, Signee, State of Kentucky, most outstanding player. You heard it from him. Work. Get the work done. Don't compare yourself to anybody else, and focus on what you have to do. Coach Bryant, Ty Bryant, thank you for taking this time out to be with us today during this holiday season and end of the year. I appreciate y'all tremendously. And Ty, Coach Bryant, Mrs. Bryant, I'm here for you. My phone line is always open. My text, Facebook, messaging, everything is always open. So anything y'all need. And Ty, we have a special package coming to you for winning and earning our Student Athlete of the Year from the Student Athlete Achievement Program, Youth Education and Sports. We got a package coming to you. We hope you love it. And we only ask you to do one thing when you get it. Just take a picture with some of the items. That's all we got you.
Yes, sir.
No problem.
I got you,
young man.
Yes, sir. And, thank you.
Oh, man, you're more than welcome. And so, coaches, young student athletes, parents, everybody that's watching this video, we say thank you for watching. And if you do not have your Student Athlete Achievement Program materials, the Student Athlete Playbook, Success in the Classroom, Sports and Life, the book, the workbook, and the Facilitator's Guide, you can visit Amazon.com and order it. And then locally here in the Metro Atlanta area, you can visit Madu Bookstore that's in Greenbrier Mall. You can also go out in my old stomping grounds, Morrow, Georgia, at Nubian Books, Holla at Marcus at Nubian Books. Holla at Sister Nia at Madu Books. And hey, they'll take care of you. So once again, thank you to the Bryant family for taking this time out with us today. And everybody watching, we'll be right back at you with another great student athlete playbook video conversation. One love and Happy New Year to everyone.
Happy New
Sir,
Year.
Happy
Thank
New
you.
Year. Thank you.
Yes, sir.